don't care.
That's what one homeless person had to say about the Dubuque ordinance prohibiting them from sleeping in public spaces. It's an issue we have highlighted over the last 2 weeks after a national homeless advocacy group says pushing out homeless populations can lead to higher mortality rates and keep them homeless longer.
KCRG TV9's Brian Tabak shows us how Dubuque is handling its growing homeless population right now.
Jim, Beth, the number of homeless people has doubled this year compared to last. In response, Dubuque implemented an ordinance giving police more authority to move people who are sleeping on sidewalks, parks, or campgrounds. A policy that has left people without housing with fewer options. Miller Riverview Park in Dubuque is one place the homeless population can sleep. They have to pay the city a fee to be here, but for many, it's their last resort.
What do they expect people to do?
Jane is a domestic violence survivor who's now homeless. We're concealing her identity for her safety.
Where are we supposed to go with our families, especially ones that have kids, young kids even?
The National Alliance to End Homelessness says ordinances that push homeless people away can be dangerous. The campground where Jane lives is on an island in the middle of the Mississippi River, close to a casino and ice arena, but far from services.
You shouldn't have to lose everything and keep playing the catch-up game.
Jane and her family are part of the increasing homeless numbers in Dubuque. The city says it's identified 36 homeless campsites already this year. It had to forcibly remove 8 to comply with the city ordinance.
If someone is staying in our campground in a appropriate camper and paying the fee, they're welcome to stay there. If they're not, we're going to work with them to get them to a safer place.
Anyone staying at the Miller Riverview Park pays $15 a night, including for the homeless people who live here. Jane has been here since July.
It costs a lot to go through this.
But the city says the ordinance is working, not because it keeps the homeless people out of sight. It's starting with providing them help, connecting them to resources, additional case managers, and new landlord incentives.
The city can't solve it, the shelters can't solve it, the medical providers can't solve it, and so we're trying to meet regularly and communicate better so that we can provide better services to that client on the end.
Of the 36 camps the city responded to, city leaders were able to connect 14 individuals to services. She says it's those who refuse help often that they need to continue to work with.
When someone says no today, we'll address short-term issues like do they need a meal, do they need health resources, for example, and we will help them move away from places that aren't safe.
It's help Jane says everyone living here needs. The campground closes for the season at the end of the month.
Everybody's got their story. It's whether you can put yourself inside their shoes as they're telling that story and sympathize with them and still be there for them, because some people have no one.
I did reach out to city leaders about the number of people staying at Miller Riverview Campground. I'm told that because they're paying to stay at the park, that they're following city code. They will not be asked to leave until the campground closes at the end of the month. In the studio, Brian Tabak, KCRG TV 9 News.
All right, thank you, Brian.